Hey, this is Antonio. Welcome back to my channel. I'm working on some fighting words. But before we go any further, you know the rules. I need you to like this video and also please subscribe. So in this video, I want to talk to you about Dillian Whyte. Dillian Whyte right now, I feel like is somebody with a lot of leverage and could potentially be holding a lot of power. So basically, he is set up to fight Otto Wallin. However, he recently said he had an injury. I didn't really buy the whole injury thing. I was waiting just to see what's going to happen with that. However, this is what's interesting. So you have Tyson Fury, who word on the street is, he wants to walk away from boxing again. If he were to stay, his mandatory would be Dillian Whyte. Now, as we all know, he would either want Usyk or, well, the winner of Usyk versus AJ. I believe he personally would want AJ because it's big. They're both British. It would be huge over there. So, not to mention just the back and forth. You can't really do that much with Usyk. His English isn't that great. So you can't really do that much with him. But with AJ and just the type of personality that AJ is, Fury would literally have a field day with him. So keep that in mind. Fury on the verge of possibly walking away again from the sport. Okay, that's one. So now you have Dillian Whyte saying, well, I got an injury. Now, it could be true. I don't know. Could be true. I don't know. I'm not there. I don't personally know him. Could be true. But I would understand, and it would make a lot of sense if he said, you know what, I don't want to fight Otto Wallin when I can get my hands on Fury, and I could still make my way around to the other belts. Fury has a belt. I could still make my way around to the other belts. Otto Wallin is going to hold me back. Even if I have a quick turnaround, he's still going to hold me back. If he's threatening to leave again, I got to get my hands on him because I'm the only one who can get my hands on him. But what if Fury doesn't want to wait for you and Otto Wallin? So if I'm hurt, I could, possibly get my hands on Fury. If he wants to, if he's going to stick around, depending on if he sticks around. Now, that's one thing going on over here with Dillian Whyte. Now you have also Deontay Wilder, which by no means do I believe he's done with the sport of boxing, period. I don't think a guy like that is going to walk away, the way it was an amazing fight, and both of them put up tremendous effort. But I don't think a guy like that walks away with that fight. I don't believe that. Not to mention, I still believe he can beat up the rest of the division. So, and I'm pretty sure he believes the same thing. I don't see any reason why he would want to step away right now. Now, that being said, Dillian Whyte. Dillian Whyte and Deontay Wilder have been going at it for, I don't know, about 4 years straight. Honestly, it might even be longer, but easily 4 years straight. Now, Dillian Whyte is, like I said, kind of like a gatekeeper. Who could put Deontay Wilder back in that winning column again, but put him also on top again? Can put him in the top 3 again? Who's the one guy who can do that? Dillian Whyte. Dillian Whyte can either be the guy to put Wilder back on the scene, back in the top 3, or he could be the guy to possibly dethrone Tyson Fury before Tyson rides off into the sunset. He could get the WBA belt and then make his way around to the winner of Usyk and AJ. That could happen. It could maneuver like that. It could happen. Not to mention, let's just say AJ wins that fight. Eddie Hearn works with both of them. It's not going to be a problem. That's an in-house thing. That's not going to be a hard thing to fix. Those two hate each other's guts, AJ and Dillian Whyte. AJ would love to put his hands on Dillian Whyte, and Dillian Whyte would love to punch a hole through AJ. I believe they'd punch a hole through each other's faces Monday through Sunday. I don't think it would matter much to them, but you put a belt on the line and millions of dollars, I definitely think they would do it. And it's an in-house thing, not a problem. So Dillian Whyte is somebody right now who has a lot of leverage, if he plays it correctly. What would I like to see Dillian Whyte do? Honestly, listen, there's two things I'm never going to be mad at in this sport. One, somebody getting their money. You might hear guys be like, oh, why is he fighting for that amount of money, or how come he's getting so much money? I'll never be mad at a guy for getting what he's getting, for going in that ring, because there's a very good possibility he could not walk out that ring. So therefore, get whatever you can get. The other thing is, I'm not mad at anybody who's going for a belt. That's literally the reason why you do this. You're going for these belts. That is the prize. There's nothing higher. That's what you want. That's why you got into this. That's why you walked home with a bloody nose. You had a swollen eye. That's why your ribs were sore and black and blue. All those nights, all those repetitious hours in the gym for those belts. So I'm not mad if he's trying to make a play for a belt. I'm not mad at that. And it's not a diss on Otto Wallin, because honestly, if he gets the belt, he can still deal with Otto Wallin. Honestly, he'll have to deal with anybody who's up the bat. So I'm not mad at anybody who goes for a belt. And as much as I hate to say it, the problem with boxing right now is nobody seems to be overly eager to go for belts. So when you got somebody who wants a belt and who's trying to make a play for a belt, by all means, brother, go ahead and get it. Go fight for it. I'm happy for you. I'll support you 110% because I want to see that. We as the consumers, listen, I want to see that. I want to see great fights, and your ultimate goal is to go down in history. Your ultimate goal is to go down as a legend. Your ultimate goal is to get as many of those straps as you can get. By all means, go for the strap. Go for the gold. I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at you. So if he is going for that gold, I'm not mad. I don't know the time frame of Wilder returning. I know it was said like 6 months or something like that. Just medical purposes and things like that, which is understandable. It's understandable. So we're definitely not seeing Wilder, this year. So it will be next year when we see Wilder again. I do believe we will see Wilder again. 100% we will see Wilder again. It's just who's going to be that person. I don't think Andy Ruiz puts, I keep seeing like posts of, Andy Ruiz versus Deontay Wilder. And quite frankly, I don't think Andy Ruiz puts Wilder back in that top 3 conversation the way it used to be. No, it needs to be somebody. Dillian Whyte can take out Andy Ruiz. Period. Andy Ruiz had a hard time with Areola. So Dillian Whyte can take out Andy Ruiz. If Deontay Wilder and Dillian Whyte fight, and Deontay Wilder beats Dillian Whyte, Deontay Wilder's back in the top 3 all over again. If Fury is still around, he's back in the top 3. He's back in the top 3. If Dillian beats Deontay, which is a possibility, they're both hard hitters. So they're both hard hitters. I believe Wilder's much faster, so I think he could easily beat Dillian Whyte to the punch. And his stamina, contrary to this last fight, is much better than Dillian Whyte's. So I believe he could definitely he could put Dillian Whyte away. But it's all about what Dillian Whyte wants to do. Listen, if he can't get his hands on the Fury, it wouldn't be a bad thing just to fight Otto Wallin, because I really do believe in my heart Deontay Wilder's coming back. When he comes back, he's going to need a top 5 opponent. He's going to need a top 5 opponent. And I don't think Daniel Dubois is quite in that conversation yet. I think he's nipping at the heels of the top 5. You have Joe Joyce, who's definitely there. I think he's definitely top 5. But who would you rather see? And I think that's another Like in terms of if I'm going to come back and if I'm Deontay Wilder and I'm coming back, Dillian Whyte, me and him have the most. We got the most beef. We got the beef. Like it's literally Dillian Whyte. Who's got the most beef in the heavyweight division? Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury. Deontay Wilder, Dillian Whyte. Dillian Whyte, AJ. Dillian Whyte, Tyson Fury. I mean, like, Dillian Whyte's always going to be in the mix. Like, he's always going to be in the mix. Dillian Whyte right now, if he plays his cards right, he could possibly be the man. He could be the man. And right now, he is kind of like the gatekeeper because he could possibly get his hands on Fury, and he could also be that man to reintroduce Wilder or welcome him back. I'll say it like that. So Dillian Whyte's got a lot of power. I don't really want to say it's power, but if he plays his cards right, there could be a lot of leverage in his favor. That's what I'm saying. And personally, who would I rather? Listen, I wouldn't be mad at a Dillian Whyte versus Tyson Fury fight, to be honest with you. Like I said, because Wilder, we're not going to see the Wilder for a while. We're definitely not seeing him again this year. We're not going to see Wilder for a while, period. We're not going to see Wilder for a while. So there's no sense. I don't want to put too much emphasis on Dillian Whyte versus Deontay Wilder because I know that isn't happening anytime soon. But Dillian Whyte versus Tyson Fury could happen very soon. And if Tyson is, in fact, very serious about stepping away, see, the thing with when I hear Tyson say he's stepping away, it reminds me of Floyd Mayweather. Like when Floyd says he's leaving, it's like, all right, well, it's more like see you later. Because leaving to Floyd is not like retiring or true retiring. It's just let me get my body healed up. Let me relax. Let me enjoy the world. Let me watch my kid graduate from college, and then I'll come back and fight. And I believe Tyson is treading on that same wavelength. I mean, granted, he went away once. I just can't see him walking away right now, basically at the height of his star power. Okay, that last fight with Wilder was amazing. I can't see him walking away after that. I can only because it was such a dramatic fight. Like, what else could you're not going to top that night in terms of a performance. Okay, so yeah, I could, but I can't because now how much he could generate if he continues. That's why I'm saying I don't foresee him walking away, or I don't foresee him staying away. In which case, you still have Dillian Whyte. If you decide to walk away and come back, Dillian Whyte will be waiting for you. The thing with Dillian Whyte is he's not the type of guy who likes to hang around until everybody decides what they want to do. He's a guy who actually does stay in the gym. He's a guy who is not all talk, and he's definitely all bite. And he wants to get it in. He wants to get in that ring. And he's the type of guy who would fight as much as Canelo if people were up to it. He would fight 4 or 5 times a year. I believe Dillian Whyte would actually get in the ring and fight 4 or 5 times a year if you let him, and if that heavyweight division was actually that deep. He would actually do it. So a lot of great things happening. I hope Tyson Fury doesn't walk away. I would not be mad at a Dillian Whyte versus Tyson Fury match. I think that would be amazing. I think Dillian Whyte actually has a lot of attributes that could disturb Tyson Fury and quite possibly put Tyson Fury away. I made a video about that, the 4 heavyweights who could beat Tyson Fury. So he's one of them. I do believe he's one of them. He's definitely got the size. He definitely has the power. He has the drive, determination. Dillian Whyte at no time ever believes he's going to lose, even though he might have gotten knocked down 2-3 times in the fight, and will be on wobbly legs, and he'll still believe he's going to win. He'll still be swinging with all his might. That's the kind of guy I want to see. That's the kind of guy, I'm going to pay money to watch fight, to be honest with you. Dillian Whyte versus Tyson Fury, I love it. I love it. And if he can secure that fight, more power to you, brother, and you better believe I'm going to pay for it. With that being said, I want to know what you think down below. And you know the routine. Please like and please subscribe to the channel.